somewhat.
It seems to be working.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, let me just try something quickly. I'm not sure if it's an issue with like let me see. So, no, it still works. Huh. Weird. I don't know why my audio stopped. And unfortunately, I was so paying attention to dinosaurs and stuff, I don't know if I was even like being able to hear like that whole time. Like people might not have been hearing my side of things at all. I have no
That's
idea.
possible.
Huh, weird. Anywho,
That is weird.
let me just go for an overview just in case. We're talking about dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts. Hurrah! Me and Sabrewolf went over a couple of dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts we thought that were cool. We went over, let's see, the T-Rex. That was Sabrewolf's favorite. Mine is the Ankylosaurus. Then we went over prehistoric beasts. Saber really likes megalodons, the giant sharks, as well as terror birds, which are like these freakishly large. Like imagine like a bipedal hawk on steroids that's larger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was about to go, and then I talked about Hyenodon, which has self-sharpening molars that even if they're completely old, they have like these wicked like sharp molars, and their mode of killing things is by literally biting its like the skull off another animal. Pretty crazy. All right. So I was just about to talk about another creature that's pretty cool, but I don't know its name. It's like the prehistoric ancient relative of the bear. And I don't want to put in dire bear because I feel like that's wrong. That's like an RPG thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dire bears are definitely like a fantasy like thing.
But yeah, I'm trying to figure out what exactly the name for it is. Give me a second here.
No worries.
Huh. They were nicknamed as camel bears though, which is interesting. They're very strange in that back in the days that they were alive, it was in North America, and it was fields and fields of grassy plains. Sounds super quiet for me? Oh yeah, what the? There we go, that's better. It's like the audio's adjusting itself. Huh, that is weird.
Weird.
Huh, anywho. But yeah, so they would basically roam the grassy plains, and they have extremely long legs as opposed to the modern bear, because essentially what they would do is they had this nose, right? And they could sense carcasses for miles and miles around, like the best like land-based vulture. And essentially it would use these long sort of they describe them as like camel-like legs to essentially trot along and go to the next corpse and eat it. So it was like this nomadic roaming long-legged bear. I guess this is probably the best image I can find right now. Here we go. So yeah, that's like the best image I can find. But yeah, you know, the grizzlies descended from this, and black bears and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was a very odd sort of creature because it was more like, what do they call it? Oh gosh, all my ecology terms. Scavengers. Yeah, it was basically like some weird like apex scavenger of the ancient world. So it was a pretty weird beast because it has some like things to do with modern bears, but like there's also this weird like it was like basically a scavenger. Kind of cool.
No, legit.
That
That's
creature.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, so it looks like. How is this happening? Oh, I see how it's happening. I'm switching between chat and OBS, and it just happens to be in the same line of where my microphone is.
Oh,
So I'm accidentally clicking different stuff.
gotcha.
Yeah. That's why they call it the camel bear, because it's got these odd long legs where it basically like it moves like a camel. Like it doesn't move like a modern bear because its legs are so long. They just sort of like go along. But they said it had some major weaknesses, like as a sort of species, which is why it got more low to the ground, in like grizzly and black bear territory. But yeah, basically like its arms were long, but like it took a while for him to like swipe at things, because it was a lot of
Right.
like muscle to like get moving.
Sort of like a, yeah, just like an exaggerated swipe.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but you know what was really cool? Freaking prehistoric sloths.
Oh yeah, man.
Why
Like giant.
why did they get so small? Why couldn't they just stay that awesome and large forever? That's what I want to know. Although of course they show like the dudes from Ice Age too, which is like really freaking weird. But
Right.
okay. But yeah, so prehistoric sloths. Check this freaking thing out. Yeah, that's like a freaking gazelle. It's
Jeez, man.
yeah. Like I guess when it comes down to it, I guess we could think of it as like a giraffe sort of, right? Of like South America, where essentially it, back then, huge swaths of land with all this food, it seemed to be the only thing large enough to reach the top leaves.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know, Emmerfish. Do we want something large?
I don't know. It seems weird that, well, I mean, granted, I'm not actually sure if it like is the modern relative of this. I'd think so because they call it a prehistoric sloth, but like it seems so drastic to look at that and then like look at a sloth nowadays. Pretty wild. But yeah, I'm not
Pardon me.
exactly certain of that one. I'd have to look that up. But there are like a ton of documentaries on Netflix. I suggest you look them up if you just want to have like fucking dinosaur day. Go for it. That's what I did. There were days in college I was like, I'm bored, and I feel like still learning, but like nothing I'm learning currently in school. So I'm gonna learn about dinosaurs.
Legit, legit.
Yeah, I've heard some things like here's their skeleton, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, this is the oh gosh, I can't even show it all. It's so freaking large. But yeah, that's like the skeleton of a giant sloth.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
pretty freaking crazy.
Huge.
Yeah, freaking huge.
No con. Camera's the same as it always has been. I'm glad that it's looking better though.
No, you know what it is? It's that my camera looks terrible in comparison. Because the what you see right now as me is actually a
Right.
small window on like Google Hangouts that's way down here that I've clipped out. So that's he's like got the big nice screen and I've got like this little shit screen somewhere. I can't figure out how to get the camera and stuff to work at the same time.
Right.
It's really
we'll
fucking
have to.
confusing.
We're still trying to figure out how to fix that kink. I think we'll just need a different program, but
I don't
we'll
know.
figure it out.
But yeah. So what do you guys like, Emmerfish and Convoy? What are your favorite like dinosaurs and prehistoric beasts? Because yeah, we've talked about giant sloths, hyenodon, terror birds, megalodon, T-Rex, ankylosaurus. There was another one, wasn't there?
Pachycephalosaurus?
Well, we haven't talked about Pachycephalosaurus yet, but that is a cool fucking beast. Let me get to looking that one up.
Legit. We tried that con like way before we even started doing the talk show. The the layer that captures it for whatever reason, when an OBS tries to capture it, won't let Hangouts capture it, or vice versa. And we couldn't figure out a way to like reconcile having it work for both programs at the same time.
Well, you could always go with Dinosaurs Emmafish too, because we're also doing that.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, I'm severely like spelling impaired and I have no idea how to spell Pachycephalosaurus.
Let me get this for us.
Oh my gosh, I finally got it. I just had to add an H somewhere.
Gotcha.
Okay, that is, yeah. Pachycephalosaurus. It's a spelling word. But it's also a really cool dinosaur.
Legit.
I always found that the herbivores got some really interesting defenses when it came to
That's
dinosaurs. Like,
Yeah,
they either
yeah.
got like crazy like bone protruding like heads to break other dinosaurs' bones, like stegosauruses, which have spikes on their tails and a friggin' row of spines on their back, plated spines, and friggin' ankylosaurus, which has a club tail. Crazy. I'm not sure, Comboy. That might be like, I might have to have two things of OBS run. I have no idea. But I'll figure that stuff out later. Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, so. Oh, and then you got stuff like Triceratops, right?
Oh yeah, Triceratops, which has like the 3 giant horns and has like the plate on its head. Friggin' A.
Yeah.
Although
Or
Triceratops
let me see if I can find it.
doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
They recently found
However-
out that it's actually the younger version of a larger cousin that they previously thought was a different dinosaur entirely. Let me try to see if I
Which
can
one?
find that. I don't know, Con. Yeah. I mean, there's always the evil side is the less trodden path, I think, in most video games. So maybe go with that.
So what are they saying that Triceratops is like the younger, like adolescent version of?
Triceratops doesn't exist. Ah, here we go. So, this is a comparison. So you've got the Triceratops. Whoa, how? Holy shit. And compared with the Torosaurus.
Ah.
So this is actually the younger version of this dinosaur. So Triceratops don't actually exist.
Huh.
Yeah, they thought it was a completely different like dinosaur entirely.
Yeah.
But I
mean,
guess
one would assume.
Hmm?
I said one would assume, right?
Yeah, one would assume that they'd be different dinosaurs, but I guess at that younger age their fan grows out behind their head and their horns grow longer and it turns into that thing. Yeah.
Weird.
How about that? Cool stuff. I like Triceratops. Well, Torosaurus, I guess now.
Okay, so I was just looking at the Wikipedia article about Triceratops.
Oh yeah.
The argument that it would, or that Torosaurus is the like more adolescent or more adult version of Triceratops is currently being disputed. There's a bunch of people who are like, no way. I don't know why. I have not gotten into that part of it yet.
Interesting. So it's not a fact yet. It's still disputed.
It's not scientific fact at this point. It's just conjecture.
Interesting. But I mean, hey, when I was in school, like shit in my biology textbook was not a reasonable thing when I graduated. So there you go. Like,
Right?
stuff changes all the time, so hell, there could be I mean, there's always more dinosaurs when it
No,
comes
that's
down to
legit.
it, right? There's just stuff we haven't
Right.
discovered yet. Because
Exactly.
one of the interesting things about dinosaurs is that the ones that we know about are the small percentage that were actually caught in specific swamp-like situations to be preserved over time.
Exactly.
I mean, a vast majority of the Earth was actually swamp-like back in the day.
Right.
But, you know, maybe there were dryland dinosaurs that, you know, just avoided those areas like the plague and never got in contact with any sort of
Right.
sludge, muck, or mire.
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually a similar like paleontological story to this Triceratops Torosaurus thing that's like currently being disputed. So not terribly long ago, somebody I want to say discovered, but like found a new species of bipedal herbivore, and yeah, they named it Dracorex Hogwartia, which is the Dragon King of Hogwarts, right? Because somebody is a fanboy,
Yes.
fangirl, is the lady who found it. Regardless, they so there was that, but later on, somebody looked at this skeleton and said it shares like a lot of taxonomical like similarities with Pachycephalosaurus, and they were wondering if it wasn't like a female version or like a juvenile version of the Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah.
So there was this contention about that. I haven't heard anything like about how that's developed, but as far as I know, they're still classified as two separate species.
Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff about that, and like there's like it's a really interesting thing to sort of like think about, because you've got these like we can never really truly know. All we can do is guess.
Unless we have time travel.
Right. Unless we get time travel. When that day comes,
We're gonna bring a dinosaur back.
and we choose to use the power for good and not evil.
I mean, I'm gonna ride a giant sloth in the battle. I don't know about you. I'm gonna give it war plate, and we are just gonna chew all the top leaves together.
I mean, the dreaded scourge of trees. Their canopy of doom will know my fury.
Exactly.
How dare you bring shade to my sunny pastures, you son of a bitch.
Oh shit. We'll show giraffes what's what. Go over to Africa and just show them a thing or two. Can't reach this, bitch.
Take like an army of sloths and release the swarm into Africa.
Oh my gosh. I have nothing against giraffes, by the way. The only creature I actually have something against is elephant seals.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Those guys can fuck off and die off the planet. I will shoot all of them into the sun if I had a cannon that could do that.
Troll.
They're disgusting.
I may or may not, in fact, be looking for a link.
I think the funniest part about them is that, like, I think they're they have like this like hierarchy essentially, and
Right.
If you're like the top elephant seal, you're called like the beach master.
Yeah, something like that, right?
It's like it's like I feel like I'm in some 80s movie. He's the beach master, man. Beach master.
Radical.
But no, they're incredibly violent, and they like try to like bite each other with the weird friggin' teeth and their awful trunks. Yeah. The female versions of them look normal, but the male versions are just awful.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't even know. Don't even know. Yeah, let's get a cannon and shoot them all into the sun.
Well, that's intense. Yeah, I definitely hadn't I don't have strong feelings of like that about animals mostly. Like the only I take that back. Like there's some parasitic species which I'm just sort of like, that's terrible. That I don't want any.
Oh yeah,
of that.
there's some places on Earth I don't want to go to because other weird parasites live there.
Right, South America, all of it. But
There's some bad
anyway.
ones in Africa too. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
friggin' bot flies and whatnot.
Ugh, let's not talk about botflies.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about botflies.
Let's not talk about. Maybe we'll have like a cringe,
Oh, no.
disgusting stream where we talk about like all the bad shit.
the cringe stream.
The cringe stream, yes. We're talking about all the cringiest creatures on Earth.
No, they're awful.
Oh shit.
Oh god. Okay, so
But yeah, I mean, another thing about dinosaurs
yeah.
is friggin' for a while, at least when I was in school and like learning about dinosaurs for the first time, most of them didn't have feathers.
Legit.
Yeah. It was only recently that they're like, oh hey, those strange, systematic like marks near their skin aren't in fact the like dug in like pickaxe things that they've used to clear. Those are
Right.
feathers.
Yup.
So yeah, friggin' raptors and shit had feathers. And they're starting to figure out, oh shit, maybe more of them had feathers than we originally like thought about.
Right. There's an artist rendition of like a feathery T-Rex. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know. Some of them are pretty silly, quite frankly.
Oh yeah, like it kind of like makes you rethink like what terror is. Because
Right,
now
I
you're
mean,
being chased by
terror-
something that is like covered in feathers and you're like, "Wait, what?" So, we all think of a velociraptor as like this thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry the actual pictures don't show up. I'm trying to do some stuff here. But yeah, and then
Right.
no, it's more like this. And
Yeah.
like it's pretty weird to think about it like that.
Yeah, no, legit. I just dropped a link in chat that
Oh, yeah?
is Nebeziel's like artist rendition of what he thinks a T-Rex with feathers might be like, and it looks like it's less for warmth in his like depiction, more so than it is about like a threat display kind of thing.
Interesting.
Which
Very interesting.
I think it's
Yeah,
like,
very cool.
I like this idea that there's that like that dinosaurs utilized feathers not just for like the utilitarian like like they
warmth
give-
or anything
Yeah.
like
exactly right, like especially because like during the time period, like Earth was really warm anyways.
Yeah.
But like yeah, there's this idea that like many dinosaurs had like feathers of some variety, and I like this notion that they were more for display rather than for utility.
Yeah, kind of like the one dinosaur that like spits poison, the one that has like the frills. I have no idea what that's called, but like as opposed to actual like fleshy frills, it's feathers to like appear larger.
Yeah. No, like that's like 100% like that. Yes, that. But yeah, like I mean, you can kind of assume, or you can kind of see why they would have like frills and stuff, right? Like there's frilled lizards and stuff in Australia.
Mm-hmm, yeah, like those are still around, but they're not feathered. So like
No,
it's
legit,
like it's like this weird thing where at some point it got kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's got this that bony fringe on his face is one of the things that is like not in contention at all.
Mm-hmm.
the like neck frill actually, I believe, is in like partial contention. I don't know if like
Oh,
everybody agrees
they're
that's
not certain whether it is or
yeah,
isn't a thing.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
I guess one of the problems when it comes to like paleontology and dinosaurs is it's all about being very careful because essentially what you're doing is you're carving out like rock deposits in the form of bone. They're not bone, rock deposits. And they're trying to distinguish what's the rock next to it, what's the rock that's actually the dinosaur, and how much am I not breaking.
yeah. What was it? So there's this thing that I have like an issue with regarding certain like certain paleontologists and like their theories and stuff. Um,
Interesting.
you're right. um, so mostly because like paleontology is mostly just conjecture anyways, like it's just this is what we know about living things now and here's what this thing in the past could have been like based on like how we think that this has all taken place.
Mm-hmm.
um Sorry, my brain just took me to a weird place. I'm gonna keep that away. um so there was a thing about a terrible movie called Jurassic Park 3. um so so they in the course of the movie, spoilers, they they replicate a creature from ancient time called Spinosaurus. At the time they
Mm-hmm.
had made the movie, Spinosaurus was not a completed skeleton. They had
Oh.
only unearthed like a part of a spine and like an arm that happened to be nearby. Um, and like that was it. They had no idea what it was like, what it was for, or how big it was, or like what the completed skeleton might even look like,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have a complete skeleton. They some paleontologist found like these, I think it was like 15 bones were broken, and they just made up Spinosaurus.
Yeah, so to give you an example, here's what we're talking about. This is Spinosaurus here. And definitely some are from Jurassic Park, but
Right, for sure.
yeah, pretty cool beast. Oh gosh, what the hell is that there? Some like awful
um,
nightmare fuel. Um,
right. But yeah, like you can see like in the different sort of like artist renditions, like despite or like even if we put away like certain flares in like artistic style and all that stuff, like people can't even agree like what shape this like the frill is supposed to be.
mhm. Yeah, exactly.
But like if it's a bony frill, we should definitely know what shape it should be. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that
and
is
that is the problem because a lot of the dinosaurs, they're maybe not complete. Sometimes, like back in the early days of paleontology, people would mix and match bones just to make a creature to say they discovered something.
right, right.
I
Um
mean, probably that's happening to a much lesser degree nowadays. At least we hope. Um, but
yeah, no, and Oreo is actually saying something that's like not necessarily news to me, but something that is sort of like as paleontology is like just a continued science or a
mhm.
continued vision of the past. Spinosaurus might not actually have been bipedal at all; it may be quadrupedal.
Yeah, so this is
Um,
like one that's its legs are kind of shorter than
yeah.
maybe thinking like T Rex size with long arms.
Mhm. Um, a lot of it has to do with like how exactly you put together the skeleton when it's being unearthed,
Hmm.
because it doesn't necessarily stay in the position that
Oh
it
no,
was.
totally, yeah, because things can die in odd positions, and then the Earth shifts a little, and then like maybe the part that was curled up on itself is now sort of folded in on itself,
Yeah,
depending on like how
uh,
the Earth moves.
exactly. And aside from even that, like you have the natural like decay, like decaying process that like dead creatures undergo. Like if you found a like a lizard or a frog that had just been like baked on a sidewalk, just like died and then got like roasted by the summer heat, like they sometimes take positions that are like completely foreign to the actual creature, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't like you don't find frogs who uh like in the wild resting in a position that you would find a dead frog in.
Yeah, exactly.
Um yeah, so like there's that whole thing. Oh, also like when they find, and these are like my favorite like fossils, like the whole skeleton that's like just been like unearthed like from the rock bed, like still encased in the rock itself.
Oh yeah.
Like they've unearthed part of it, but they've like been able to extract the entire skeleton, because that's, aside from the position, because like they're often like bent back into like these weird like contortionist positions and such, they're so super cool
Yeah, super
because
cool.
there's no real guesswork about whether or not that dinosaur like was organized in that way.
Yeah.
Like its skeletal structure is pretty much not in contention at all.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I do like that.
I think so too, right?
The big weakness for Spinosaurus is actually, if in fact those are bony frills.
Yeah.
Much like there's another ancient dinosaur that actually used the frill as a means of solar regulating their body temperature. But yeah, if they roll over, it essentially dislocates their entire spine.
Yeah, no, absolutely, right. Like the musculature that would need to be like supported in a creature's back to have like a bony spine protrusion like that is pretty intense.
Yeah, it's like you would essentially have like this crazy looking spine where like, you know, our spine has like these even little protrusions on either side, except this one has like frickin' this one. And it's like, I don't even know how you like chiropractors, like if there were dino chiropractors, like what would you even do with that?
Well, you'd probably have to approach it first through massage therapy
Gotcha.
to at least, you know, let the patient
You gotta get it. You got to get the tenderness out of there, and gotta loosen it up.
But yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that. Well, I mean, I was about to say I'm glad that dinosaurs don't have chiropractic surgery, but like, who knows? Maybe they did.
Ancient alien chiropractors.
Oh my god!
Oh shit.
Dinosaurs and the power of crystals.
We just got to a fucking weird place. Oh shit.
Did you know that the Central American pyramids were actually predate the dinosaurs? It's not true. I'm full of shit. Don't believe me.
But yeah, people have been talking about reverse engineering different types of DNA to splice together stuff. Yeah, like chickens are related to T-Rexes back way back.
Right. They are actually, well, I say they. There is a group of scientists who are involved in genetics who are currently trying to replicate mammoth DNA to be like to make a woolly elephant, basically.
Yeah, because I mean, when it comes down to it, like when we're talking about woolly mammoths and shit, like they're not, you know, rock. Like they're preserved in ice.
Right.
Like people actually eat mammoth meat.
It happens.
It happens.
Like, yeah, like that's real. You can find it. It's in the best refrigerator ever. A glacier. I mean, it's an evolutionary process, Oreo. There's like chickens are the closest genetic relatives to T-Rex in terms of like that whole thing.
Yeah, so when we're not saying that its aunt was a T-Rex. We're saying that on the large spreading branches of the evolutionary chain that way back, like it was a T-Rex.
Right. Yeah, because there's it's
like imagine the biggest fucking family tree ever.
Right. I mean, like,
and the top's the T-Rex. Well, the top's not the T-Rex. It still goes further up. But like millions and millions of years go by.
The, the scale
And, like,
on
we're
which
talking, like, even if there was a tree that went to generations, like, no.
no,
No.
right, no. There's the scale on which evolution happens in terms of the timeline that we are all familiar with is so incredibly huge that like it's difficult to like conceptualize, which
Yeah,
is
because what?
why
Yeah.
it gets sticky sometimes. It's better to just know the process by which evolution happens, and then sort of extrapolate down as or like up in terms of like how you understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's the thing that you're talking there, Oreo, is it is a topic for discussion, not on Ving's stream. So I appreciate you deciding to like head that off at the pass on your own.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Nah.
You know, we're talking about the science of things, not the belief of things. That's a very different thing.
That is different.
I mean, I believe in dinosaurs. Maybe someone else
Right.
doesn't. They're entitled to that.
There are some people.
There are some people who think that they just don't they're not into it. They don't think it's real. But I mean, it's got to look cool, right?
Decision. But no, like seriously, that's actually a good point though, Ving. Like by denying the existence of dinosaurs, you are basically saying, yeah, there's this whole cool thing that I'm just not into. And that's sad.
It is sad. Because dinosaurs are awesome.
That might be taking it a step too far, you know?
No, I think that's funny.
Fair enough. So anyways.
I mean, unicorns couldn't make it either, right, Oreo? So.
Right. I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
Or, hydras or chimeras or any of that good shit.
Are you going to include those blasphemous Greek creatures in there?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
I mean, dragons also didn't, right? So
That's true, yeah. Dragons, no.
Just too big. Just too big.
No.
So anyway.
Oh, shit. But yeah, fucking dinosaurs, man. Actually, you know what I wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Cool, like, dinosaurs that basically still exist today.
Okay.
Yeah, alligators, sharks, turtles. There were ancient turtles.
No, that's legit.
What else? Coelacanth is still alive today.
Which one?
Coelacanth.
Oh, yeah.
Let me find that.
Definitely.
Like, they have not changed in literally fucking forever.
Emberfish, that's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, coelacanths.
Unicorns made it. They just got hunted to extinction for the magic of their horns.
I mean, there you go. That makes sense.
God
But yeah, they haven't changed in a long fucking time.
No, that's legit.
Pretty effing cool.
Yeah, no, aside from like getting more specialized, like sharks really haven't changed a whole lot in like a few thousand years either.
Like the design is still the same, which means literally they are the most effective predator, right? If you're finding stuff that looks like it did like millions of years ago, that is an effective design.
Same thing with gators, right? They've been the same for millions of years.
Bugs
too, like a lot
Bugs
of
too, yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, we were talking about dinosaurs, but the first thing to walk on land were like giant salamanders and like amphibians.
I mean, yeah, basically, right.
I mean, there were also the sea scorpions that could walk on land, but
Yeah.
And that's where like our first sort of insect things came from.
Let's talk about those sea scorpions for a second here.
Okay, let's talk about sea scorpions. Fine, let's do it.
All right. So sea scorpions, right? These motherfuckers claim the right as like the first thing to like walk on land. But those bastards were just holding their breath.
I mean, you're right. There are people holding what the fuck? that must be holding some weird relative. I mean, there's also a TF2 character holding one, but yeah, so like there's the TF2 guy or whatever, like holding a sea scorpion. But yeah, like these dudes. But yeah, they were holding their breath really, because they had gills.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Eventually, they got used to it.
Yeah. Eventually, they got used to it. I mean, right? Like the more, anyways.
Yeah.
Evolution.
Over millions and billions of years, they got used to it.
Exactly. But yeah, that's like where modern day arthropods come from. So like that's
oh yeah,
cool.
Cockroaches are probably one of the most effective survivors. I mean, they can survive radiation.
Right.
Like the only
severe.
other thing I can think that might be able to beat it is the sea bear, or what is it? Right? Water bears, which are like freaking microscopic, but they can survive the vacuum of space. Like that's a huge jump from like radiation to vacuum of space, right? And that's the only thing I can think of that's more resilient.
Right. But I mean, like, that's the thing, though, right? Like, water bears, if you actually put them in an environment that is similar to being in outer space, they still live. Like, you can pull them, like, you can bring them out of that environment and reanimate them so that they, like, live again, basically. They drop into, like, dormancy. They, like, cryogenically, like, or not cryogenically, but they, like, it's a similar process, right? Like the whole body goes dormant, all function stops. But when you return them to an environment in which they can survive in, they stop that dormancy and become alive again. It's the weirdest thing. It's super cool. And microorganisms, man, they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, they are. Yes, been watching SpongeBob. Sea bears.
Who hasn't, right?
But yeah, man, I mean, like, it's interesting though, because I mean, yeah, Oreo, you bring up an interesting point, right? Like, science is, progressing along, and there might be a day where we have the technology to bring back prehistoric creatures.
I mean, that'd be cool.
I mean, is that just being able to do it? Is it right to? I mean, there are reasons they died out so long ago, right? Like they couldn't survive the current conditions. So essentially we'd be making some huge ass zoo with very, very specific environmental components. Like having 80% oxygen for for some of them.
Yeah.
Like any insect-based thing needs a ton of oxygen if it wants to stay that size.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like that's how like the square cube law works, right? For insects, like they can only be as big as the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere. That whole thing aside, man, like I don't know if it's right to put like a morality question on it. Like should we or should we not? I don't know, like at least from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If we could take the opportunity to learn something new about these creatures from like a long fucking time ago, like why wouldn't we take that opportunity?
I mean, I guess
it's a way for us to reach back beyond human existence in order to like understand more completely where we come from. It's like it's in a weird way, kind of like picking up your old family photo album and like flipping back to like flipping open to just the front, and it's just like your like ancestors of yours who you have never met because they were dead when you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think there's a point that basically captivity, right? We're not releasing these things back.
No, right?
Yeah, hell
absolutely.
no. Like that would just be crazy, because
they didn't live for a reason.
Yeah, they didn't live for a reason.
Like there's environmental conditions that aren't good for them. If we were to, so exactly the insect thing, right? Like we somehow bring back an enormous like dragonfly, because there used to be these dragonflies the size of hawks.
Yeah.
Like if we brought one of those back and then released it into the wild, it would die. It would be inhumane for us to do something like that.
Yeah, we'd have to keep it in captivity in some very specific places.
Right.
Like we'd
Now,
have to like engineer like the right stuff for it.
yeah. I mean, there's also an issue like with this whole like keep it in captivity thing, because like I've been to zoos aren't cool like for animals, right? Like they're cool for us, like we get to see stuff that we would never get to see normally, but like so here in St. Louis we have one of the best zoos in the country. It's routinely rated like top 10. It's free to the public, anybody can go, and it's like completely funded by people who want to like donate money to the zoo. Now we have, I think, something on the order of like 10 big cats. None of their enclosures are actually larger than my apartment. Well, I take that back. The lion, tiger, and jaguar have larger enclosures, but they're no bigger than the block of apartments that I live in, which is to say 75 by 100 to 150 feet, right? And the other ones aren't actually any bigger than my apartment, which is 35 by 50. It's a very small space for an animal that is accustomed to living in an environment where there are miles of wilderness for them to like own.
Yeah, like thinking about it, I feel like there's some dinosaurs just shouldn't, or at least to their full extent, be brought back, like Brontosaurus. It
Cool.
would, if it wanted to live properly, it would require so much space to live. And it would have to be like the perfect temperature and levels of oxygen and all this sort of stuff that I feel like on the scale of a Brontosaurus, we really can't achieve. Like, you'd need huge amounts of land in order for some dinosaurs to yeah, because otherwise you're keeping them in, small enclosures, and that's not right at that point.
I mean, it's like asking a person to live in a 10 by 10 foot space. Now, granted, there are some people who like that. Like, there's tiny houses and stuff, right? But
yeah, there are tons of tiny houses.
Most people don't find that comfortable or hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 10 by 10 feet is some people's bed. Like,
yeah.
Granted, that's a huge fucking bed, but let me tell you, there's some huge fucking beds out there. So,
but I like generally, I feel like there are some things that they could bring back from the past that'd be really cool, but they can't bring back like a herd of T-Rex.
Right.
Like maybe one, just to see what it's like, and then record everything they know about it, and then until its natural lifespan goes away. But like even that is a lot of like the amount of cattle you have to feed that thing. Like a lot of stuff has to go into keeping that thing alive.
Man, there's part of me that's just sitting here going like, man, could we just get like part of Australia that's not currently being used for something and just like section it off and then like make a tiny ecosystem of dinosaurs and then just watch what happens?
Yeah, I don't even know.
I mean, I think that'd be cool.
I mean, there are wide swaths of land like that are not used, but they're usually deserts.
Right.
So,
it would be problematic.
It would be like the most expensive thing to convert it into like a prehistoric jungle.
That is what you call terraforming.
Now that's terraforming 2017. Oh shit.
Oh my god. Yes, like that. Pteranodon stole my baby. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, there's also, we talked about some things couldn't survive. There are things that might survive, but we don't want to survive.
Right, that's legit too.
Like raptors, they might be able to survive. Do we want them to? Holy shit, no.
Holy shit, no. You thought wolves were bad in North America?
Yeah, no. I imagine like freaking raptor alarms and shit like that. Like, close your doors, close your windows. There's a herd of raptors coming through. Freaking A.
Oh my my god, dude! It's even more than that. Like you have to put down like your like single sheet shutters that have like pneumatic pistons to like keep it closed and stuff. Whoo! Don't want those raptors. Raptors bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Leo. That's that. We were talking about some of that stuff earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's this controversy about whether or not it's considered to be playing God, um, like what with cloning and all that stuff. But that depends on sort of that depends on your perspective.
and the process, right?
Right.
Because if you're like mutating what was once, what was it? They used frog DNA or something like that in Jurassic Park. Like,
Jurassic Frog.
Yeah, like, come on now. But like, if you're actually recreating it from its like base DNA that you've, I don't know, somehow, I'm like, we're talking about science we don't even fucking know about yet. So like, there's a lot of guesswork and is it right? Is it possible even? That sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, Convoy. Um, but yeah, man, like, there's that whole question that gets raised in Jurassic Park: is it ethical to clone dinosaurs? Is I don't know. As an adult who thinks about these kinds of things occasionally, that line delivered by Jeff Goldblum really rankles me.
No, totally, yeah.
That,
Because I think, yeah, one of the first things I said before we even had this discussion was like, oh, what the hell did I say? I said like, is it right to bring back something just because we can, right?
Yeah,
to prove
exactly.
that we can. Like, is that the right thing to do?
And I mean, to that end, Ving, to Chad's and your credit, to do it just to find out if you can is kind of like a 7-year-old wondering, or like killing an animal just to find out if it's possible, right? Like that part of it is not really okay.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a plan or a benefit or like a reason to do something other than just is it possible, is probably more in line with being like what people would call ethical, right?
Yeah, like yeah, I guess that's what it comes down to. Is there a good reason to bring back T-Rex? If they can find a good reason, maybe. If not, they probably shouldn't.
I mean, but like on the flip side of that coin, like, can we bring back or like, should we bring back T-Rex? We won't know until we bring him back. Like,
and then it's like some horrible dinosaur post-apocalypse that we never thought we needed.
Oh my god, it's amazing. Anyways, so yeah, no, like there's that whole idea, right? That if it's like finding a plant in like some jungle somewhere that has like medicinal properties that we didn't know about, right?
Yeah.
Like we can't know if something's good for people until we find it and determine that it is, right? So to that end, we would have to go ahead and like bring back some dinosaurs in order to figure out if there's a good reason to do so.
Yeah. And I feel like based on like what we've learned, maybe there are some that are definitely like I don't know like any medical or like reasons that could like aid us, but like maybe there's a certain feature of an animal and we know a fact about it that actually could help us, maybe. Like there's some factor that could be good for us.
I happen to disagree, Emmerfish, as to whether or not human arrogance is what will lead to our demise. I currently am a big fan of the theory that like that human greed is what will lead to the end of our species, but that's another topic. I mean, it can be, Leo. Like when we're talking about like things that when we're talking about like trying to find out if something is good for people or not, you do need to collect samples. Now you can do it humanely. Like you can take blood samples from people and figure out like if there's something wrong with them in order to like make them better. Now, and when I say better, I mean well, not better like the $6 billion man, right? So
And then that's the other thing we have to watch out for, right? Are we making a T-Rex, or are we making the best T-Rex we could make?
Right.
You know, like,
holy shit, I would definitely want to make the best T-Rex.
and we have to get over that ego to not make, make something, replicate the history, not improve it, because that's when we get to a whole nother fucking crazy level, right?
Exactly. As soon as, because that's like the plot of Jurassic World. Spoilers. Like, gotta make it better.
Yeah, it's not just a, dinosaurs are boring now. We have to make the best dinosaur.
I can't believe that was one of the things about Jurassic World. Dinosaurs are boring now.
Yeah. I as like a thing, right? Oh gosh, friggin'
Not necessarily, Leo.
You can't spoil it.
You can't, Everfish. It's possible to spoil bad movies. I actually don't think that there's like too much wrong with Jurassic World. I like to rip on it because there's a lot of things that are wrong with it. But as a movie in general, yeah, it's not so bad.
No, I enjoyed it.
No, I liked watching it. I do enjoy that there's this non-specious sort of bent on it because it has the best female protagonist that I've seen in a long time, with arc and like excellent like character growth, and she happens to be a dinosaur, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's fine, man.
Gotcha.
You should give it a try. It's not the worst movie you'll have seen ever.
Cool.
But yeah, like, if you guys want to see like a really good, sort of like take it to the next level of this whole like we shouldn't be playing God like thing that Jurassic Park does, watch the movie Splice. It's an incredible movie. It is really disturbing in a lot of ways. It's a horror film, so if you're not into that, don't watch it. But it's really good, and it has definitely this strange like we played God, what have we done kind of thing that goes on in it. So I suggest it. If anybody who has seen it also cares to vouch for it, go right ahead. I would actually suggest it for you as well, Ving, because it's not like jump scare or like brutal destruction like squicky. It's like cerebral like holy shit horror.
Gotcha.
So like it's pretty cool.
But yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I don't think we could make Godzilla like beasts when it comes down to it.
Right, the biology, like we don't understand the biology of something like Godzilla enough to be able to like even artificially create it. Yeah, no, I don't think that we could create something that was like 300 feet tall.
And then, if we could, or when we could, I hope not when, but if we could, like, what would be the purpose other than just saying we did it? And it comes back to the same thing, is saying we can do it. But maybe we have to recreate Godzilla because alien invasion.
Right. That was the thing that I was going with, man. Like,
so there you go.
Kind of
maybe it's a necessity to protect Earth.
In the event that Pacific Rim happens and we can't create Jaegers, we will need to create Godzilla. Our own defending kaiju in order to save us from the giant alien extra-dimensional monsters.
Mm-hmm.
That is a situation of when we would need to.
Yes, I agree with that.
It would also be amazing.
Fight fire with fire. They got giant
Right.
creatures. Stick a giant creature on them.
Monsters. We have giant monsters too. And if we make them here in America, they'll be the biggest, baddest, and most hilarious.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Can we
God.
get that like tattooed on its scales like a big American flag? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, he's got like a military rank and everything. No.
Holy shit. Oh my gosh. They should have like a thing with Pacific Rim, except every country creates its own kaiju. Its own crazy genetically modified kaiju that protects the earth in its own way.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Holy shit.
Oh man, holy shit. It's amazing. Oh, but they can't be trusted to defend us on their own. We have to like attach some kind of crazy like science to it, or technology to it to like make it controllable by people, and then they can rebel. It'll be great.
Yay. Lieutenant Major Godzilla.
Exactly, Janara.
Holy shit.
Oh fuck.
Awesome.
What have we done? This is where we have gone.
Yep. We started talking about facts. And now we're talking about making giant kaiju to protect the earth.
This is what happens to us.
This is Tantrums and Tangents.
Of course it is.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit. So good.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think
World
what?
War Kaiju. Interesting.
What? I mean, that'd be
Cool.
interesting. Right?
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we're going to stop there for the day.
I was about to say, I don't think we can really top that. I think
I feel like that's a good point to stop. That, and I don't want to get into any more weird controversial shit, because we
Right.
were sort of edging on that for a little while, and I was like, oh boy.
Right. I mean, I think.
But it comes
But
into, you know, it's
I hear
one
what
of
you're
those
saying.
things where you talk about dinosaurs and you can't not talk about, well, what if we just make them now?
Right. Damn you, Jurassic Park! You ruined dinosaur discussions forever.
Life always finds a way.
Oh, you. Fuck you.
Shit.
You know I don't like Jeff Goldblum. He's an asshole.
Oh gosh. But yeah, we're going to be doing Fallout 4 next. So
Right, for sure.
I think because the way I sort of do the talk show and how it works in OBS. Yeah. But like we're going to I'm going to have to shut off the stream and turn it back on because of the way I share, like, you know, things like the Scorpion and stuff. It's a little weird on my end. So I'm going to have to shut the stream off, turn it back on again. And yeah, I will be back in just a second with some Fallout. So hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, we'll be back in just a second. See you in a bit.
Cool, dude. See you guys.